It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, time for us to talk relationships, shall we? When you meet a potential new partner, it's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of the exciting new feelings and start planning for a future with that person. But do things change if you know that staying together long-term isn't going to be easy or even possible? What if your new partner doesn't fit neatly into your life plan? Well, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is here to give her advice. So if you have a question or if you have a comment, feel free to give us a call. Here's that new number, 021-430-9881.
Good morning, Doc. How are you? So my laugh wasn't a dismissive laugh. It was a laugh of glee because there's going to be such an interesting discussion. Because the truth of it is, when you first meet someone and you get that kind of honeymoon phase kicks in, and you immediately see your whole life with this new life partner, this wedding potential. Why do we have it? Why does that kick in when you first fall in love or in lust or in infatuation? Why is it there?
And then you even promise it to them.
Yeah, completely.
It's such an instinctive biological response to say, okay, this is going to be forever and ever. And it's like the chemical, that rush that comes in, it has to happen. Otherwise, we would never ever fall pregnant. We would never ever have the population of 7-8 billion people in the world if we weren't instinctively forced into doing the commitment thing right from the beginning. Thinking long term and saying, okay, this is going to be forever. Because, you know, I mean, the truth of it is, our behavior is different today. Very, very different as younger people, especially, very different. And my generation also, once you single again and you'd have different plans. But your behavior is different. But the need, the emotional need, the instinctive need is, I really want to be with this person. I want the commitment. I want to know that there's going to be a father or a mother for my baby going forward. And even, as I say, at my age, there is that instinctive need for protection. So we do develop these plans and we go into this dream, as I call it. We dream together. On one hand, it's absolutely essential for a couple to have this dream together. You have to have this plan together because it's part of the brain. It's part of the brain that gets stimulated. What's called the imagination or the dream part of the brain gets stimulated, and you like that feeling. It's very important that we have that experience of feeling we're going to dream together. But then quickly, very quickly, like within weeks and definitely within the first 6 months, as we know, we talk about this a lot on the show, the dream begins to evaporate and the reality sets in. Once you begin to talk about your values, which we talk a lot about on this show as well, and you then see, is there going to be is there going to be a match of values? Because if there is, then you think, okay, I really do have this good plan. But it can be quite abused as well, where if you're in a relationship right from get-go and you feel the discomfort of it and you feel the pressure of it, you're going to adapt your plan to go into somebody else's 5-year plan. So we have to have, which we talk about a lot as well, equity in a relationship. Two people who have equal plans, two people equally who have their own plan, and then together can create a plan. I don't know about 5 years. But,
just a plan is good enough. A plan is good enough.
A plan, yes. I think 5 years in today's generation, I don't know if that happens. I want to hear from people. Do you still have 5-year plans, or do you just have in-the-moment plans? Like, how long are your plans? How long can you hope for?
Might be speaking to the wrong person,
Very, very important. Well, there you have it. Dr. Eve asked you the question, do you have a plan? Do you have any plan in general? Or are you kind of just going with the flow? You can let us know. 021-430-9881 is that number to call. We're talking relationships this morning. Very interesting chat indeed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So we are having the most interesting relationship chat. Why? Because I think every person out there, and ourselves included, can find some point to relate to ourselves. We're talking about relationships, that warm, fuzzy feeling when you first meet, and the need then to commit, and you tie that person into your long-term, forever goals. But do your long-term goals and your values match up? And how do we broach this? And Leanne, you posed a really interesting question. You're going to open up a little bit for us now.
I will. You know, Dr. Eve, we all want love. I think we want love. We want to find that person. But I think a lot of us also have life plans where work is concerned.
Well, we should have.
We should have. And you know that you've got, like, let's say you've got 5 years that you really, really need to put in everything in order to achieve a certain amount of success, and thereafter you can maybe just relax and chill. What if that person comes in that 5 years? Because that's my concern. I literally choose to maybe just put love on the back burner just for a little bit, because when I do fall in love, I give everything to it. Like that honeymoon phase,
Yeah.
I
Just
cannot
lasts
think,
forever.
I breathe, I eat, everything is love, and work
'Cause it's
gets
cool.
put on the back
Because it
burner.
is awesome. It's like one of the nicest things you can go
Exactly,
through. Yeah.
and then maybe 6 or 8 months down the line, you're like, oh wow, the honeymoon phase is now it's gone a little bit,
Yeah.
but oh, I've lost out on so much that I could have done work-wise, and then maybe do I begin to resent the person that I'm
Exactly,
with because I've
exactly.
missed out on so many opportunities.
Yeah. It's incredibly important to hang on to that goal. And I think that one of the points of discernment, Leanne, would be to say, is this person somebody who is going to walk by my side
Yeah.
while I explore my life goals? Because if this person is going to be happy to allow you to let go of your dreams, because of course you have to talk to them about your dreams when you're courting.
They've got to know
They've
them,
got to
yeah.
know that, and they want to be supportive. You want them to be supportive of it, because there comes in the discomfort for me of this person knowing that Leanne has a dream, and I am going to be so distracting to her that I'm taking her away from the dream. A healthy relationship is when that person is aware of your dreams and is able to totally hold the space and pursue his or her or they own dreams while you're pursuing yours. That is what a long-lasting, sustainable relationship is going to be made of. Is two people who have independent dreams. And it could be, I want to be a housewife and just take care of my
Yeah,
child
which
right
is
now,
fine,
which might
yeah.
be your situation right
Yeah.
now, Graham. But that is their goal, which is fantastic because it's concrete. And in that space, you are being held to pursue your dream. I really feel uncomfortable when I hear that there's going to be a letting go, that your partner would allow you to be so absorbed and swallowed by them that you let go your dream. No. Your partner has got to make sure that you are maintaining your dream and supporting it at the same time.
And vice versa.
I'll speak from a
Absolutely.
male perspective. It's a very
Yeah.
difficult thing to do. You've got to find someone who matches you in that sense, who is in your case, is equally empowered in their own life, wanting to do those things. Because to live above it all, above our compulsions and things, is a very difficult thing to do. So to just offer that to someone, a free platform to express and explore
Yes,
themselves, is a
exactly.
difficult thing that you can generally, within relationship, work towards. But it's not something that's easily done. So you've got to find someone that matches you on that level. I have to throw this in there. We hear the cliche, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I want you to think about that for a moment. When we come back, I want to talk about concrete things. You're flying overseas to spend 2 years in the UK. Do you go for love, or do you just say,
Very
okay, I'm going to
important.
sacrifice that for my own goals? We'll continue this discussion in a moment.
Well, we're also continuing our, expanding our knowledge on the parsnip vegetable. Well, this morning, Mary's showing us how to make parsnip hash brownies. And then, of course, we're also continuing our chat with Dr. Eve. Give us a call. Our number is 021 430 9881. Does your partner fit into your future plans? We'll see you after the break.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso right here on SABC3. We're talking relationships this morning with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, in the house. If you have a question or comment, please do give us a call, 021 430 9881. Graham, you were talking about it's better to have
food for
loved
thought.
and lost than never to have loved at all.
And I do believe that, because I think that humans, we love a little bit of misery and the opportunity it provides to grow through that.
Yes.
But all of that being said, I mean, especially when you're younger, you've got concrete plans that are very, in the moment, concrete. I'm going to London for 2 years to do this. I'm studying overseas. Then you inevitably meet the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with the day before you're supposed to leave. And
Exactly.
do you enter into that space? Do you
Yeah.
protect yourself and say no to love?
Yeah, I really think that you should go with the feeling of love. I really do believe that, especially today. You're smiling at me.
love
Especially today with with technology, there's such an ability to be able to communicate
Stay
with each
connected.
other and to and to get to know each other that way, whilst you are pursuing your dreams. I feel this absolute gut-wrenching feeling when somebody will tell me, a couple will sit and say, I had this idea, I was just about to go overseas, and then I met him and I decided to stay. And sitting in a therapy room, why sitting in a therapy
Years
room?
later, yeah.
Years later. And then there are the couples who absolutely will say, I met her a few months before, told him in the first time that we just started going dating that I have these plans to travel overseas. And he said, go for it. I'm going to be here when you come back, or else we'll take a break and we're going to see if we still feel connected. And organically, if you want to be connected with the person, you're going to stay connected with that person. You don't need to make a rule around it.
Yeah.
And they go away and they do what they need to do, travel for 6 months, travel for 2 years, and then they will come back, or they will meet each other somewhere. It really happens that people should continue with their dreams. I really don't think you should put a hold on
And
to it
absence
for
makes the
love.
heart grow fonder. We can
Well,
throw another
it changes.
cliche on there.
Yeah, but it changes because you really then find that you grow into somebody different and are we still interested in each other?
Yeah.
But you don't want to miss out. I mean, this is like a very new millennial way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, my generation wasn't like that. You just didn't even have the dream. And if you did have the dream for older people, I mean, I'm curious to know from older people, as you get older, your plans change, your 5-year plan changes, or maybe, you know, you think about aging a whole lot more and you then are single and you meet somebody new. What do you expect from that person?
different for
What
them,
are your plans then?
Dr.
Because they're
Eve,
going to be different.
We've actually got a call on the line.
Yes.
Minnie from Pretoria. Minnie, good morning. You are working and your partner is currently studying, am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
So what's your question, or what about this particular situation
Yeah.
has you a little confused?
So basically, I just wanted to know if it's a problem because my boyfriend is only in first year and I'm already working. So I just wanted to know if I'm considering to go back to school, if that is kind of getting in the way of my five-year plan and all of that.
Minnie, what is your 5-year plan?
So I've always wanted to, in my 5-year plan, I've always included, you know, having my own business eventually. So right now I'm working to get some experience. That's basically what I'm doing now.
Okay, so how is your boyfriend being in first year interfering with your 5-year plan?
Because now I'm considering going back to school, and I'm also considering just the space between him getting his degree and finally starting to work like me, like just kind of giving him some time for that.
Are you supporting him? Because this says to me that there might be that dynamic here. Are you supporting him? Are you needing him to support you when you go back to school?
I am supporting him in his school, and it also causes some problems financially as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've been a little derailed. And are you saying you want to go back to school because you want to broaden your own knowledge base, or because you just kind of want to get into a parity with him? Why do you want to go back to school?
Just to give him time to catch up with where I am.
Honey. No, honey. You don't go backwards in life. To be able to give him an opportunity to catch up. He's on his own trajectory, and you've got to respect that. That's where he is in his life. He's on his first year of studying, and you're in a different place. And you're going to see if this works for you or not. But please don't go back to give him a chance to catch up with you. Don't go backwards. I mean, listen to yourself. You don't go backwards in order for him to catch up with you. You've got to stay where you are, and you've got to stay on your own trajectory of your plan. And he's got to stay on his trajectory. And doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Unless financially it's like really hurting you, then that's not a good thing. But please do not go backwards. Please, Minnie, do not go backwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know we've probably given her a lot more to think about than answers there, Minnie, but I think a lot of people in that situation. Dr. Eve,
You
I have a
heard the
feeling-
pain
yeah.
in her voice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you could hear she was like there was a catch in her voice. And because I work with trauma, you know, one of the first things that happens to us when we feel traumatized is that your voice closes. You can't
is
really
really hurting
talk,
her,
and
yeah.
it's hurting her. She's anxious. She's
Well,
anxious
I
about
think the
it.
most important thing is talk to him about this and give him the platform to be able to weigh in on the conversation as well. But Minnie,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Doc. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. What an unbelievably interesting
It
conversation
was.
this
It
morning.
turned out really great.
Thank you
you
so much.
Yeah.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
We've got Dr. Eve on speed dial this morning as we continue for a final time with our relationship talk this morning. And Minnie kind of inspired this question, the last caller that we had. Timing. I sometimes think in relationships, can timing be very important? Should you ever break up with someone with the intention of getting back together at a later stage when the circumstances are better?
If this is what a couple feel like they want to do, there should be flexibility. I think that's great. I think it's naive as well. Forgive me for laughing out loud. That there is so much life that's going to happen between the breakup. I mean, why did you want to break up? I always want to know what's the root cause of the breakup in the first place. Is it because you wanted to go and live your 5-year plan and then come back? Well,
Bearing in mind you're still going to be the same person when you come back unless you do some major changing.
Yeah. But then again, I'm thinking that with Facebook today, a lot of people, I mean, it's huge, especially in an older age group as well. they find each other again on Facebook years later after they've divorced or they've widowed or something, and they find that the things they really liked about each other back then, they really like about each other now, and they get together again. Or maybe they have lived their life plans out and now they want new life plans, and so they get back together. It's a huge cohort of people who are doing that. So, you know, we can't have strict rules around that unless there is a breakup because there has been real poison in the relationship. And then you say, okay, we're going to get over our stuff and we're going to meet up later. I think that too much life happens. But I do believe in the synergy of, you know, organic growth and people will find each other again. But, you know, there are big things that people struggle with. And it's like a warning I do want to say to our viewers as well. If you begin to do your 5-year life plan and you talk about things like children, like religion, like schools, like where do we want to live, like do we want to travel, please be very aware that those things might be very set. They may be culturally set, they may be set in terms of your family culture as well, and they may not change. So don't be with somebody when you know that their life plan includes children. And you really, really are committed not to be having children, and you think, well, I'll change him or her, and maybe further along the way, this is going to happen, and therefore I am going to commit. Having said that, people do change along the way. They do find that they say, I'm never going to have children, and then
life throws a very different curveball at them.
Exactly.
Dr. Eve, you know, I've been able to whip out at least 10 cliches this morning that the relationship chat has had some real gravitas to it. Thank you so much. Minnie, we love you. Thank you so much for weighing in on the conversation. But hopefully this has inspired you at home to at least look at your 5-year plan, your 1-year plan. Be clear about that and communicate that from the very beginning within your own relationship.